So I already watched the Top Gun Maverick film twice, and the influence of the film is this. So I finally made the purchase of a Level 4 kit by Revell. This could be purchased at your local Hobby Lobby for $29.98, out of the door at around $32 to $33. So claims to have 97 parts, and as for the total length of this kit, it says it's a 15.50 inch scale model, wingspan of 16.02, and because this has 97 parts in the kit, it is recommended for ages 12 above because of the choking hazard concern. So for those of you who are interested in looking at the final product, possibly what this kit could be when you already assembled it and painted it, so it could look this way, especially that. The purpose of this video review is to show you the end product, so you could decide whether it is going to be worth your $32 of hard-earned money and possibly 48 hours of build time to get to this complete level. So all 35 steps, it took about something like 48 hours, of course excluding the paint job. So I did not paint this model kit, so we could really take a look at the individual concerns with regards to building this F14A Tomcat. So I made a final measurement of this final kit that I already assembled. So for length, as the box says, from the end of the needle of the radar to the thrusters, that's 15.50 inches. The wings fully expanded, 16.02 inches. The height from the cockpit, the canopy of the cockpit, to your display base, that's about 3 inches. And the vertical stabilizers, the tip of the vertical stabilizers to the end of your, or the base of your display case, that's going to be 4.5 inches. With regards to skill level with building model kits like this, I am a novice or an amateur. The finest materials that you could find on this F14 build would be located in the cockpit area. It's going to be the parts that you need to assemble for the 2 ejection seats. Now, do yourself a favor, buy a good set of hobby cutters, not your clippers or nail cutter at home. And of course, go get yourself also a good kind of glue, one that is dedicated just for the clear canopy or the clear plastic canopy, and the one that you're going to use for the body and the parts of this plane. Now, don't use your Gorilla Glue or your Loctite. Go for the ones that are being sold at your hobby shop. As for the length of time I spent on building the cockpit area, it took about something like 45 minutes because of the really small plastic that I have to deal with, especially cutting it from the tray and gluing it together and forming the cockpit area. Well, you also now have the option whether to add paint to the control panels. So that way, when you assemble the kit, it's the control panel is already done. The downside to this F14 build by Revell, it only comes with a single pilot, so that's it. That's why I opted to not put the Maverick figure on the pilot's side, so it's just going to be plain this way. So where are you going to struggle with this build? Now, it's not going to be the really small items on this plane like the missile pads, etc., the landing bay covers, etc. It's not it. it's going to be joining the upper half and the lower half of the plane, and at the same time you're trying to fix in or set in place the two huge wings on this kit. Now we're to concentrate first in joining the two halves. So first concentrate on this level over here. So starting from the wing down to the thrusters, secure that first and leave this area over here open. Just glue that later. That is the process that I did, because I really struggled for 5 hours trying to figure out what was really happening. And once I read the review and I understood the issues involved, so that's the time that I first concentrated in securing the or joining the lower half of this plane. So from here to there, that's where you start, and then from this section above, do glue that later, including the cone. Now once you do glue this, you're going to have gapping issues. So with regards to gapping issues, that's the time that you go back to your hobby store and buy some putty. So just fill in the gaps with putty and then sand them down later. So that is the reason why I left this area over here, so we could really take a look at the amount of puttied or the area that you're going to really work on this plate. Because after gluing this section over here, majority of the time that's spent on this kit would be actually on this area, which is very problematic, because if you won't do this area really good, then the plane would really look terrible. So this is the area that you're going to place putty. So sealing putty, and then you're going to sand it down. Now you would also need some putty on the cone, and of course on the canopy, because the canopy would also have a little bit of gapping spaces. That's the reason why instead of using gray paint on the edges of the canopy cover, actually I just use black to hide the blemishes. And for this review, I just left this area alone, so you could really take a look at the gap that you're going to have once you're going to build this plane. Now there's going to be really minor gaps too, moving to this area, as you could see. Now just apply a little bit of putty on this side, and of course sand it off before you finally do a paint job on this plane. But with regards to issues, that is the issue that you're going to face with this. So as for the other face or the other side of the plane, that is also the same gapping issue that you're going to or need to tackle, because it is really once you read the reviews about Revell model kits, it is just common to have alignment issues or panel line issues with regards to joining the upper and the lower. So there is really a process that you could possibly do to get rid of that unsightly line afterwards. So it's going to be something like you need to apply some kind of material on this line to erase it, some kind of solvent that you need to buy. And of course, once you perfect that thing over here, you could proceed with the other gapping issues or alignment issues that you'll have with this kit. And then I think it's going to be really beautiful, because with regards to my skill level, of course this is the best that I could possibly do. I'm not too confident in burning that line off, because I might produce just an unsightly or gaping hole on the build. And there goes my $32 and how many hours that I placed on it. So it's just, I just placed a little bit of putty and sanded this area down to the best that I could, that somehow that we really have a smooth surface. So I think that if for example you already have achieved this thing over here just with putty and sanding, you could proceed with painting the whole plane down to hide all those panel line things or issues. So for this model kit, these are the missiles that are included. So we have 4 of the Phoenix missiles, we have 2 of the Sparrows, and we also have 2 of the Sidewinders. So on the 35th section of the build, there is a image of the fuel pod for the F14, but that is not available for this kit, so don't look for it in this kit. It's going to be just missile pads and landing gear sets. So this is how the plane looks, or the kit looks, with the wings fully extended. So this is how the model kit looks from the backside, with the 2 huge thrusters, or the engines of the F14 Tomcat. Now let's view the model kit from this angle. So we have the side, and we're moving towards the front of the cat. As for the glue that I used, it's going to be testors, so I found this at Hobby Lobby. Of course, this was just what was available at hand. So this I used for the canopy, and this is I used for the body and the small parts. So refrain from using Loctite or Gorilla Glue. Other items that you need in this build, of course you would need some rubber bands, an X-Acto knife, a good pair of cutters, forceps. You also need a sanding tool of some sort, the smallest one that you could find. So really needs not to be fancy, so I just bought this set. Actually, this comes in a set, you could find it at Walmart. And as for the applicators, so this thing I used for the glue, so I would dab it in a small piece of plastic and just get a little bit and dab it on the area where I need to join plastic. So this you could possibly get at Hobby Lobby too. So, and the last item, which is not in this table, would be several pieces of sanding paper of different grades, so from the finest to the just a tad bit rough. So that is just what you need. So if you like this video, like, comment, and subscribe, and see you on the next toy review.